Among the 10 items on this list, there is one item whose retail price elsewhere is nearly 20 times the figure you see at Dollar Tree, until you watch this entire video. You'd be awesome if you subscribed and liked this video. 1. Large print 7-day pill organizer. The weekly pill sorter costs just $1.25. And what keeps many customers coming back to buy a few more organizers after just one trial is the large print on each compartment, which is clearly readable even as eyesight declines with age. So you don't have to fumble for your glasses when rushing to organize your pills every morning. Precisely because it is so easy to read, opening the box needs to be equally convenient, and the assist lid pops open with just one hand, eliminating the struggle with those stiff plastic boxes sold at pharmacies. 2. Dermasil Face Serum Oil. Every drugstore has Dermasil, usually sitting next to the thick body lotion tubs people buy when winter arrives. Few notice they also put out a separate face oil line, sitting modestly on the Dollar Tree shelf for $1.25, with Virgin Marula printed right at the top of the label. That ingredient name is no stranger to beauty enthusiasts. It is the exact thing that made a name for Drunk Elephant Virgin Marula Luxury Facial Oil, which sells for $36 at Sephora. Try applying both to the back of your hand at the same time. The absorption and softness after a few minutes are nearly identical, while that $35 price gap only exists on the receipt and shows nowhere on the skin. The dry winter season is when this bottle is mentioned most in Reddit skincare groups. When facial skin flakes in patches and regular moisturizers fail to work, many report that just a few drops of this oil soothe the rough areas without leaving the heavy, oily shine that once made the Drunk Elephant bottle frustrating. In the evening, after cleansing, drop one drop into your palm and gently pat it onto both cheeks. The area where skin is thinnest and tends to feel driest as aging gradually thins the epidermis, letting it tightly hold the moisture of the night cream underneath, fulfilling its role as the final moisture seal before turning off the lights to sleep. Come morning, that same bottle switches to a different job. Dab it lightly onto the corners of your eyes before makeup, or save the rest for cracked heels after a long day in closed shoes. One small bottle doing the work of 3 or 4 different jars is the real reason to keep it on the shelf, not just because it is cheap. During the first week of testing, apply it every other day to see how your skin reacts first. If your skin is acne-prone or naturally secretes a lot of oil, consider this step carefully, as adding more oil to skin that already has enough can sometimes make things worse rather than improving anything. 3. Watermelon Glow Up Gel Primer. Applying foundation in the morning looks smooth in the mirror, but by noon, the powder has settled completely into the smile lines at the corners of the mouth and the wrinkles on the forehead, as if intentionally making you look several years older in the middle of the day. This is an experience every woman over 50 has had, though rarely talks about, because this makeup mistake is very easy to notice, even when you have been careful with every step. This watermelon gel layer solves exactly that problem, and it goes to work before the foundation even touches the skin. The grip is fine-tuned just right, not too sticky, not drying too fast, exactly like the signature tacky finish that made a name for e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, which sells for $11 at Target or Walmart. It is just enough to keep the base layer sitting perfectly in place for 12 hours, from breakfast with the family to evening church service, without needing to pull out a powder compact to touch up midway through. The price is $1.25 for a tube that lasts several months if you only need a thin layer each time. At the drugstore, the Power Grip bottle with the same function is priced at $11. In the freelance makeup community in the US, this Dollar Tree tube is mentioned quite a bit as an option that is almost completely equivalent to that famous $11 tube, and any difference, if it exists, is hard to notice with the naked eye once it is on the face. The watermelon scent is light, does not linger long, and does not bother people sensitive to smells. Apply a thin layer after the moisturizing step, wait about 1 minute for the gel to set, and then apply foundation. Skipping this waiting step while the gel is still sticky on your hands will cause the powder to stick unevenly, leaving it blotchy instead of smooth as desired, which is the most common mistake for first-time users. A woman in Georgia shared in a bargain hunting group that she used to spend $11 on Power Grip, which would run out after a few months of use, and then happened to pick up this watermelon tube while buying a few miscellaneous items at the Dollar Tree. Her face that day held up just as long as the brand name product, and she recounted the story half laughing and half regretting that she had only just found out about this item. The thing worth calculating carefully is not just the price difference of a single purchase, but the whole year added up. Buying Power Grip 4 times a year is nearly $44 for primer alone. Buying this $1.25 tube 4 times a year costs less than $6 for the entire year, and the remaining money is enough for you to buy a few other items without second thoughts. Right next to it is another product whose texture immediately makes people think of a cosmetics line that has been causing a sensation all over social media. 4. Simply Lemonade, 52 fluid ounces. The retail price at traditional supermarkets or on delivery apps like DoorDash is typically from $4 to $5 for a 52 fluid ounce bottle of Simply Lemonade, while at Dollar Tree, the exact same volume is only $3. So for families who often host weekend barbecues, this price difference adds up quite noticeably if buying multiple bottles at the same time to entertain guests. Not a few people who used to buy it out of habit at a large supermarket near their home have completely switched to stopping by Dollar Tree whenever they need to stock up on refreshments for their family, simply because it is the exact same bottle, the exact same brand, but the price is clearly cheaper without having to compromise on quality. What makes this bottle chosen by many people lies not only in the price, but also in the fact that it is made from real fruit juice, containing no artificial flavors or preservatives, which is completely different from those pre-made sodas full of artificial colorings displayed right next to it on the shelf. Since it is made from real squeezed lemon juice, the natural sugar content in the bottle is quite high, and this is something those who need to control their blood sugar should know before drinking a lot. Fortunately, the fix is simple. Just mix in a little filtered water and ice cubes to both reduce the intense sweetness and help one bottle last longer for large gatherings. So there is no need to buy many bottles at the same time while still having enough to serve the whole family. Someone even shared that since the day they found out Dollar Tree also sells this exact same familiar brand, they no longer see any reason to continue paying extra money elsewhere for the exact same product, from the packaging to the flavor. In addition to drinking it directly in the usual way, many people also utilize this bottle to mix in honey and warm water to make lemon tea for cold relief when the weather turns chilly, or pour it into molds to make cool fruit popsicles for their children and grandchildren to beat the heat on hot summer days. 5. Niacinamide 5% plus squalane serum. Dark spots on your cheeks will not fade on their own just because you patiently wait. You need the right active ingredient and the right concentration. 5% niacinamide is the #1 dermatologists often choose for sensitive skin. Strong enough to gradually fade sun damage accumulated over the years, but it does not cause burning or flaking like the 10% versions currently flooding the market. This Skin Nutrition Botanicals bottle costs $1.25, and that unfamiliar name actually shares a formula equivalent to the ordinary niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1%, the $10 bottle that has become an almost mandatory introductory step for anyone getting serious about skincare. The concentration on this side is gentler, 5% instead of 10%, but it comes with squalane, something that preserves skin elasticity, which the Ordinary's formula does not have built in. Flip the box over to read the ingredient list, and the order of ingredients is almost identical to other popular niacinamide lines. The only differences lie in a few percentages of secondary extracts and added fragrance, things that have nothing to do with whether the serum fades dark spots. There is one thing that must be said straight out before you run to the store to buy several bottles at once. Niacinamide, even at a gentle concentration like 5%, can still cause a slight sting or redness for those with highly sensitive skin or those using it alongside high-dose retinol. If your skin is prone to reactions, do not apply it to your entire face the first time. Test it on a small area under your jawline first, and wait a day or two to see if there is any reaction. Apply a few drops after washing your face and before your moisturizer. It can be used both morning and night without needing to avoid harsh sun exposure, unlike other active ingredients that require you to be careful every hour you go outside. One bottle lasts about 2 months if applied evenly every night. Buying 6 $1.25 bottles a year costs $7.50. Buying the ordinary bottle at that same frequency cost about $60 a year. That is a difference of over $50. Enough for you to buy a few other skincare items and still have some left over. 6. LA Colors Cream and Powder Highlighter Duo. Patrick Ta Major Glow Cream and Powder Highlighter Duo sells for $40 at Sephora, enclosed in a heavy metal compact with an included mirror and raised lettering on the lid, looking luxurious from the very first touch. This LA The Colors compact costs $1.25, is made of thin plastic with no mirror, and looks like nothing worth noticing at first glance. But swipe the shimmer powder onto your hand and both blend evenly and smoothly, without caking or showing large particles like some other cheap highlighters commonly do. The light catching your cheekbones does not need to glitter like the shimmer powder children use. What is needed at this age is a soft, natural glow, enough to make the face look fresh in the sun without accentuating pores or wrinkles around the eyes. Something not every highlighter can do, no matter how expensive it is. The cream pan inside has a slightly moist texture that melts upon touching your finger, not stiff and dry like some other cheap cream highlighters. The powder pan is so fine that a light puff of air will send it flying, so you must be careful when opening the lid for the first time. Dab the cream onto the top of your cheekbones with your fingertip, gently patting it into the skin before applying setting powder. This is an important step because applying setting powder first will ruin the natural glow of the cream. If you want a more noticeable glow for an evening out dining or attending a party, use a small brush to sweep an additional layer of powder on top, right at the highest part of the cheekbone and the bridge of the nose. For dry skin, just the cream pan is enough to maintain moisture and glow all day. For oily skin, you should use the powder pan more because powder holds up longer over many hours without being washed away by skin oils. In online beauty groups for middle-aged women, this highlighter compact is mentioned so much that many jokingly call it the surprise discovery of the year, something no one expects to find at such a budget-friendly store. Some people even film videos directly comparing the two compacts side by side to prove that the difference is almost negligible, placing them under the exact same lighting and facial angle so viewers can see and judge for themselves. One compact lasts for many months if you only need a thin layer each time you do your makeup, unlike other highlighters that run out quickly because you have to use a lot to get the color to show clearly. But one thing to know before buying, a highlighter at this price does not come with a mirror like the Patrick Ta version. So if you often do your makeup on the go or do not have a large mirror at home, it will be a bit more inconvenient. Additionally, the shimmer powder is quite fine, so it easily flies around when opening the lid for the first time. Be careful not to get it on your clothes. That highlighter compact is not the only thing causing women to completely change their decades-old beauty habits. There is another item sitting right next to it that is cheaper, yet its effect is much larger than its size. That highlighter compact is not the only thing causing women to completely change their decades-old beauty habits. There is another item sitting right next to it that is cheaper, yet its effect is much larger than its size. 7. Nickelodeon licensed food storage containers. If you stop by Dollar Tree and still see this Nickelodeon container set on the shelf, don't put it back down. This is the kind of item people pick up and drop straight into their cart without a second thought. The print is sharp and precise down to every detail, and the thick matte surface tells you immediately this isn't a knockoff with a cartoon character slapped on cheap plastic. It's a genuine Nickelodeon licensed product. Target charges $6 for a comparable licensed container, and here you're holding a 2-pack for $1.50. That price gap is why people time their visit to Dollar Tree around the truck delivery day just to have a shot at finding these in stock. Packing snacks for the grandkids or portioning out a meal to bring to work, the clearly distinct colors between the Ninja Turtles and Minnie Mouse mean you'll never grab the wrong container in the office break room or at school. Don't run these through the dishwasher on high heat. The printed design on the outside will gradually fade. Wash by hand and dry them right away, and they'll hold up for a long time. The last two items were flying off shelves because people recognized the value instantly. The next one is different. It sells out because people read 3 words on the ingredient label and can't put it back down. 8. Nostalgic American Brand Bag Charms. Bazooka Candy Brands is behind Ring Pop, officially licensed. For an icy, anyone who grew up in America recognizes that red and blue striped cup instantly. 2 items, 2 brands, both $1.25, and they are being wiped out in 2 different directions. The 80s and 90s generations are grabbing ring pop for someone they want to give it to. People spot Icy right at the register and pick it up immediately without a second thought. Southern States sold out completely in less than a week. A member of a collector group said she bought both at the same time because she couldn't choose. At $2.50, you don't have to choose. Avoid exposing the galvanized chains of both to rain repeatedly, as they tarnish easily. And actually, Ring Pop, Icy Pop, Heinz, and Kraft all came in the same shipment batch. If you see all four on the shelf, take them all, because having one of each on your keychain looks way cooler than just one by itself. 9. Ceramic Essential Oil Burner Dish. The candle and essential oil section at Dollar Tree looks appealing, and this ceramic essential oil burner is something a lot of people stop and pick up because $1.25 for what looks like a ceramic piece seems like a great deal. But this is one to set back down and walk past. The glaze coating the inside of the oil-holding dish isn't fired to the proper standard, which causes essential oil to seep through the ceramic and leak out underneath. And you won't see it happening until it's already too late. On Dollar Tree review pages, people have shared that the oil soaked through the ceramic before they even lit the tea light underneath, dripped down, and left a permanent stain on the surface of their $200 console table. The damage wasn't $1.25. It was the table they bought last year. The dish is too shallow. Even a light breeze from a fan or the air conditioner can cause the heated oil to splash over the edge, burning your hand or damaging whatever surface is underneath. There's no temperature control mechanism, and the tea light burning below can heat the oil beyond a safe level before you ever notice. Usually when you start smelling something burning. Electric essential oil diffusers on Amazon run about $15 to $20, automatically regulate temperature, have no open flame, carry no leak risk, and won't ruin the furniture below. That $15 difference is what protects the $200 table in your living room, and that's not a calculation that takes very long. You just learned what to skip in the essential oil section. The very next item right beside it is something worth grabbing an entire pack of, because Dollar Tree just completely redesigned it. 10. Pastel Stripe Microfiber Kitchen Towels. Dollar Tree just replaced the entire gaudy, cheap color palette of its old kitchen towel line with this new soft pastel stripe design. And the change is noticeable enough that people stop and look twice when they walk past this section. A 2-pack for $1.25, while Target charges $5 for a single comparable microfiber towel. And that's why lifestyle content creators consistently include this line on their Dollar Tree must-buy lists. The ultra-absorbent microfiber fibers leave no lint or water streaks on glass surfaces and quartz countertops, two surfaces where regular cotton towels tend to leave a cloudy smear after wiping. Wipe down the kitchen counter after a meal. Clean a TV screen without worrying about scratches. Or wipe down shower glass or a bathroom mirror without spraying any additional cleaning solution. One towel handles all of it without leaving a trace. A small tip: keep one towel dedicated exclusively to glass and mirrors, and don't mix it with kitchen wiping duty. Grease from the kitchen gets into microfiber fibers and will leave a cloudy film on glass even after washing. The size is well suited for everyday wiping tasks, but not large enough for drying a full load of dishes. And that's not what this towel was made for anyway. Machine washable, reusable, and a 2-pack for $1.25 is something you'll add to your cart every time you stop by Dollar Tree without even thinking about it. 11. Gibson Home Silicone Utensils. This item usually sells out as soon as it is placed on the shelf, and if you have ever arrived a few days late compared to the restocking schedule, you have certainly regretted it. Silicone utensils from the Gibson Home brand, well known in the kitchenware industry, have the characteristic of not shedding bristles when rubbing against a hot pan, unlike the worry you feel every time you use a cheap wooden spoon for fear of wood splinters falling into your food. The heat resistance of this silicone line is also top tier. You can stir directly in a smoking hot pan without worrying about the tip of the tool melting or deforming. Each piece is only $1.25. An incredible price for quality that belongs to such a professional brand. Interestingly, at Aldi, this same brand's product line is usually only sold in large full sets, whereas here, you have the right to buy individually the exact item missing from your kitchen drawer, without having to pay extra for spoons you will never touch. 12. Cheap phone chargers. The phone you are holding in your hand cost $1,000, yet many people are willing to plug it into a charging cable that cost only a few bucks from Dollar Tree's accessories aisle, which often lacks verified origins. This is the real risk behind the charging accessories displayed right near the checkout counter, where it's easy to grab one while you're waiting in line. These types of cables and charging bricks often lack the necessary overload protection, causing charging speeds to be much slower than name-brand products, and in some cases, they pose potential fire hazards if left plugged in overnight. It is widely circulated that fire incidents involving cheap charging bricks have been recorded by consumer safety oversight agencies in the US, although they do not always specify the brand or the specific store. The most commonly shared story is of cables getting scorching hot, or even smoking while charging overnight on a nightstand, which has made many people more cautious about these types of cheap, unbranded accessories. If you need a spare cable, you should look to buy at Costco or reputable retailers with clear branding. 13. Sterilite acrylic round ice cube tray. Round ice melts slower than regular square cubes. That's why high-end bars use round molds, and it's why people are buying this $6 Sterilite acrylic round ice cube tray to drop into their 24-ounce vessel cups and then filming videos to post in home cafe groups. The full set includes a thick acrylic round mold tray, a large ice bin, and a scoop. Genuine Sterilite merchandise, not a no-name brand. There is a video in a home cafe group showing someone dropping a round ice cube from this tray into a vessel cup, pouring in cold brew, and just watching it. No talking. That video has over 400,000 views. Viewers understand why. HomeGoods and Bed Bath & Beyond sell similar sets for up to $20. Filling the two interlocking halves requires a slightly steady hand to avoid spilling, but you get used to it after one or two tries. This is a buy once, use forever item, and $6 for genuine Sterilite is a no-brainer. And right next is another genuine Sterilite item, this time tackling that under-sink kitchen cabinet that you shut the door on and pretend doesn't exist. 14. Frosted Sterilite Cabinet Organizer. You know that under-sink cabinet? Closing it and pretending not to see is the most common fix. The $4 Frosted Sterilite Cabinet Organizer features a front cutout design to pull out and grab items without lifting the whole bin out, boasting the same plastic quality and thickness as Sterilite items sold at Walmart and Target, but about 30% cheaper. Buy them in pairs of 2 to 4 to unify the entire cabinet space. Cleaners in one bin and floor supplies in another, with a designated spot for everything. The only thing to do before buying is measure your cabinet height and depth because the bin is quite large. Once measured, this is $4 that turns a messy corner neat that very day. No further planning is needed. 15. Oasis 4-compartment vanity organizer. For the first time, Dollar Tree has a 4-compartment version of the makeup organizer, and organized home groups on social media reacted the moment it appeared. It features thick, clear acrylic plastic and 4 compartments of varying heights to sort everything from Q-tips and cotton pads to lipsticks and mascara. The Container Store sells similar 4-compartment trays starting at $8, while this one is $1.25 and 95% identical in looks and function. Once placed on the vanity, it looks completely different, and when guests walk in, they'll ask where you bought it instead of guessing Dollar Tree. Avoid rubbing it with sharp metal objects since clear plastic easily leaves faint scratches. Other than that, there is no reason not to grab it today. 16. 3-pack mini portion control snack containers. 3 mini containers with lids cost $1.50 for the set, and the meal prep community uses them to portion out food without weighing every meal. The compact size is ideal for nuts, seasonings, and thick sauces to bring to work or picnics. Those on keto and low-carb diets find this the simplest solution to control portions without investing in expensive Tupperware sets. A user in a meal prep group said she uses this set to pre-portion nuts and sauces the night before, so in the morning she just tosses them into her work bag. No weighing, no measuring, no thinking. That is the convenience $1.50 buys. And for the next one, I have never seen these cashews at Dollar Tree before. Keto folks grab them immediately, and I understand why. 17. Mini bog bag. If you have been browsing social media lately, there is a high chance you have seen this compact plastic bag appear in numerous videos on prepping for the beach or summer swimming. Some clips have attracted millions of views just for how people neatly pack wet swimwear inside without getting the rest of their gear wet. Many families share that since they started using this bag, they no longer deal with a damp, musty-smelling car trunk or having to wash their backpacks after every trip. The bag's material is quite durable, water-resistant, and keeps wet items like swimsuits or towels completely separated from dry items in the backpack, without leaking and soaking everything else. The stitching along the edges is also reinforced better than you might imagine for such a low price point, so it doesn't fray even when packed full. With summer hitting its peak and weekend beach trips becoming more frequent, this is an item many people grab several of to use in rotation, avoiding the need for emergency laundry between consecutive trips. At just $4, this is a compact must-have to toss into your cart before your family's weekend trips to the beach or pool. 18. Crayon-shaped pencil pouch. For the same function of storing pens and compact school supplies, specialty school supply stores usually sell similar items for no less than $3, while at Dollar Tree, you only pay $1.25 for this adorable crayon-shaped design, which is enough to make kids love it from the first sight. The silicone material used for the pouch is quite durable and won't crack or break even when stuffed with mini pencils or crayons, and it withstands impacts when thrown into a backpack every school morning. When it gets dirty, just rinse it with water and it's clean. No stains like regular fabric, and no need for tedious hand scrubbing. At this $1.25 price point, it's a small item that makes a child's study space look much neater and more fun every time they go to class. And there is an item specifically for weekend barbecues that many American families have been hunting for lately, intending only to buy a pillbox, and by the time they reach the checkout counter, their shopping cart is filled with a few more decorations that were not in the original plan. And that is exactly how dollar stores make a profit to compensate. If you want to be more certain about ingredients, a few barcode scanning apps like Yuka can help you check quickly before putting items into your cart. Smart shopping is not about staying away from dollar stores, but about knowing how to choose the right items worth buying and skipping unnecessary spending traps, which I think applies correctly to any store, not just Dollar Tree.